Okay, so it's 7:25 on the 25th, Sunday, and I didn't go live yesterday. I was not in the mood. I could not shake my mood at all. I'm trying this today, but yeah, it was like, oh my God, I was just feeling so like all my energy was drained out of me. A headache. I was the thing that is I just saw this one video that a guy was driving out in the woods, and a whole bunch of little puppies came running out. And it just is like, God, this world, man. People just take little puppies and just throw them out in the woods because they let their dog get pregnant and don't want to deal with it. I just the selfishness and stuff in this world. It's so self-indulgent, like, and it's draining. It's literally draining. And then I have seen videos this morning, so I know I'm not the only person who's feeling this way, because I've seen other people saying, and it's just like so and the thing that is getting me, because I can't quit spinning around it, which also I feel like I'm in a loop. I was just like, I'm in a fucking loop. How do I break out of this loop? It's like every day, every night, it's the same thing over and over and over and over. And that's draining me. That's just making, it almost brings this feeling of like hopelessness. Like, how is anything going to break free? How is this going to just keeps going and going and going the exact same? It's like, when is something going to, propel us in a new direction? And then, the lack of sleep, and then plus it's not just the lack of sleep, it's the startle. It's being startled awake constantly that is also draining me. And some of the times I can't get back to sleep, just like last night. It's startled awake, then whatever. Some of the times it's like a whole thing. And it's not just give her medicine. She wants to go out, this whole thing. But then when I try and go back to sleep, I can't get back to sleep for a long time. And then when I finally doze off, she does it again. And then it doesn't even have to every time be her. It's like they're all in cahoots. That's why I say it's like this energy, this energetic force that is just, it found a weak spot in me, and it's just looping me through it over and over and over, just trying to beat me down. Because it makes me start feeling like I just want out, man. I just want out. I start getting these images of just starting the car and putting a hose in the, it's just like, God damn, I'm so fucking, oh. And when I was going through the dark night, I was having a hard time shaking those images. They kept coming into my head. And I know that is some other force, which I did see somebody else talking about the dream thing and saying, about the mind control and stuff, and like they're controlling dreams so that people start manifesting their fears and stuff. So I don't know, man. It's like this whole thing is so fucking draining, and it's but back in my dark night, so all the way back to like 2015, I've talked about it before, but I couldn't shake the image every time I would look up, because I had there was a big difference from the kitchen to the living room. So the kitchen was like way up high and the living room was way down low. And it was a split level house, but then the person who had it dropped the floor. So it was like a sunken living room, real sunken. It was like a big distance. And so there was the stairs had a railing that went all the way around where the kitchen. So the kitchen was like on this kind of, I don't know, like a ledge or something. And it was cool. I thought it was really cool. But anyways, every time I would look up, I would see myself hanging there. And I was so down. And it was like they were just like this, trying to taunt me into, following through. And that's what I kind of feel like now. It's like you're having to battle. That's the battle between the light and the dark. It's like you're having to battle these forces that are just trying to keep us pulled in the dark, keep us in this loop. It's like a fucking loop. And I was asking questions, and then some of the times when you feel like you're real stuck too, you'll feel like you're real disconnected. And so I was asking questions, which I saw this one lady say about the med bed thing, that it's all BS. And if you need healing, all you got to do is ask the powers that be to please take you to the place and heal you. And they'll take you, and then they'll send you back, and you'll be healed. Everything will be healed. And so I even tried it. I was like, okay, let's see if that works. And whatever, my eye is kind of like worse or something, and my tooth is bothering, so I'm not all healed suddenly. And I don't go into that stuff feeling like, okay, let's, try it and see. So I was calling the powers that be, take me away from here, go heal me, take me to the place of healing and stuff. And it didn't work for me, so I don't know if it worked for her. Or she's just, saying whatever for views. I don't know. But let me think, is it staying in the loop? The healing, the hopelessness. Because there was even people saying that they were wondering if they were creating some of this information so that the people would manifest it, like with the storm. And the storm seemed to be all over the place. And even I saw a video of somebody on the West Coast saying that they were being, there was rocks falling out of the sky. So, I mean, tons and tons of videos talking about that this is all being manipulated and interfered with, and showing pictures of the sky and all of the lines and all of this stuff. And so tons and tons of people talking about that. So that increases, that grows more and more and more of people talking about that, talking about the interference, talking about the communication, talking about the mind control, talking about using us to create these disasters and stuff like that. And so but the getting into the feeling of just like hopelessness, and even in my whole thing of like feeling so much doubt, like, what is my what am I supposed to be doing? Like, am I even supposed to be doing this? Like, this is how I feel at this point of just like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And so I was trying to communicate that. And then I woke up. Well, it was for a while before I woke up, because that's one thing, is I'm aware of myself when I'm sleeping. I'm aware of my thinking. I'm aware of what I'm taught. Like all this stuff. It's so much, man. And then so I was hearing this song, only it was just like one line or two lines playing over and over and over and over and over and over. And it was my response to my question. And now I can't remember what it was, because I was listening to music this morning, trying to put myself in a better mood. And dancing, which I've said for years, like if you're in a really sourpuss mood, to try music and dancing, which that's my go-to. So now I've got a different song rolling through my head, but it is whatever the one that I woke up to. It was like, kind of the message is, don't be so hard on yourself. You're here, don't be hard on yourself, and allow yourself to go through things. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing, you're not a bad person because you get mad sometimes. You're not a bad person because you get overwhelmed. Just allow yourself to ride this process, because it's a lot, man. So, and the thing that is getting me is not just like this, what would it even be? Like the great divide in the gender, the war of the genders, that whole thing of like men being really caught up in the fantasy, but women have their own fantasy. Women want a prince to come riding in and save them and be there happily ever after. Men want somebody to seduce them and make them fulfilled sexually. And they go into this industry, but it's like that the powers that be created this lure, this trap to pull men in. And I don't know, because a lot of these, relics have been around for a long time. If they had just known that it's easy to trigger someone's perversion, their fetishes. It's easy to pull them into lifestyles and to take control of them through their desires. And so it's like they have such a huge control over men. But I'm sure if you look at the women, they've got their control on them through the fantasy. Which, another thing too is, before, women would stay in really bad situations because they just had to. I was watching this movie the other day, and it was Kirk Douglas and Kim Novak, and there was a bunch of other people, but those were like the bigger stars. And it was an old movie, and it was in the 50s or early 60s, and it was a lifestyle, of which I'm familiar with. I remember that lifestyle well. I grew up back then. And the parents and just like all the people walking their kids to school, not walking them to school, walking them down to the bus, all the parents talking to each other, the parents getting together and hanging out and all being friendly. And it was just totally different than how it is now. And if you didn't live back then I think it's hard for people to imagine how much more social it was. And the parents were having parties all the time, and all the neighbors would come. At my block, we would have block parties. Everybody would come out in front and have these big barbecues with everybody in the whole neighborhood. It was like a lot more social, which I think we're going to go back to being more social like that. But in this movie, they both got married and had kids. And I think they met up at, I don't know, school function, the grocery store, something. I don't know. I don't remember. And then there was some conversations and stuff where it's like, back then, people would get married because it seemed like it was the right thing to do. So your boyfriend is your boyfriend in high school. It just seems like the right thing to do to get married. You go out with a woman and she is purity or this virginal type, so it's like, okay, well, she's the right woman for me. That's what. And so it was a much more like business, kind of much more like, it wasn't like waiting to fall in love. It was more of this is just the way it is, this is the rules, this is how we do it. And so they got married, and she was always Kim Novak was always resentful to her mom about something that her mom did. And her mom said, well, you just don't know what it is to fall in love with somebody. So I guess the mom had an affair or something. And then I don't know if the dad had a heart attack and died or whatever. And and Kim Novak was resentful. But there was a couple of conversations. And so then Kirk Douglas and Kim Novak fall in love. So they start having this affair. And which was, I'm sure there's lots of people having affairs and stuff back then, but it was kind of like sad because they didn't marry people that they loved, but then they fell in love with somebody outside their marriage. So they fell in love later, and they already had kids and a family and stuff, but then they had to pick like duty. They had to pick like, well, what's the right thing to do? And, to raise my kids, stay with my wife, and be a good husband. And so it's just like, I don't know, it was just like a different kind of lifestyle, different kind of thing. But to me, it's kind of like humans are going through these waves of, how does this work? How does this work? And so, because is there a wrong or right? I don't know. I know. It's just is a choice. You make a choice, and then you live the consequences. And it was kind of like sad because they had to choose like duty and not be with the person they fell in love with, especially because they were in relationships that they weren't in love with the people. They got married to them because it was just the thing that people did. And so I don't know, it's just kind of the thing with all of humans having to go through experiences to understand. And like I said, it's not like that there's a wrong or right way. It's not like the universe is waiting for you to make the right decision. It's not like there's a moral decision. Well, you got to stay with the person because it's the right thing to do. Or do you follow love because that's the right thing to do? And then, still be responsible for your family. Or, there's just things to do. There's ways to go and learn and experience life. But there isn't really a wrong or right. And that's the thing, is that it's even so tightly woven that it is, whichever direction you go, there's going to be a good side and a bad side. You're going to have good parts and bad parts, no matter which direction you go, whichever way you choose. There's no right or wrong. There's no perfect way. Everything is just choices and consequences, choices and lessons, choices of experience. And then on top of it, it is a lot more like we are programmed into the experience. We have a certain experience that is aligned for us. We're the part player for that experience. And so you can't really veer out of the experience, and you're programmed into learning from that experience, which that's the thing about what we have going on right now. It's just like, it's so intense. It's so all over the place. And it was really getting me to question things yesterday, where I was like, this is so weird. It's so confusing. And I've seen so many people doing videos now that are they're not confused. They are very like, this is right, this is right, this is wrong, like, this is it. And the thing that's confusing to me, I'll explain. But it's kind of, we'll see how well I can explain this. So so this town, this city, which I just saw a woman talking about, it's the Twin Cities, and we're the highest moral fiber of this country. We're the leader of this country, of allowing immigrants here. We have got more different people here than any other place, and we all live together in peace and stuff like that. It's like, okay, well, right there, so are you saying that everybody's there legally? Like, are you saying that so some can come legally, but the ones that don't, it's okay. We bring you in. It doesn't matter what, kind of crimes are going on. It's all good. It's like, hey, are you trying to be like, I don't know. Like, it's a cut and dried thing. It's like, we are, top tier when it comes to what America should be. And the amount of involvement in this whole thing is, it's crazy. Like, if you see the videos, it's like, what is every single person who lives here out on this? It's like, and if it is, then it truly is like, this is their choice, man. Let them go and put them under a bubble and let them experience. Which, when you think about that, that's kind of what this place is, this whole world. Put them under a bubble and let them feel, let them experience it, let them figure it out. And, but contain them, let them be contained. And, because it's their choice. It's not what everybody else is choosing. And that's what's got some people really bent out of shape, is like, this was, a VOTE that we all chose. We wanted this cleaned up. We wanted there to quit being all of this, illegal situation, because there's one side who is using these people. And so the, those people are very much, like, and they're the majority. So I've seen some saying these people are committing crimes, uh, like the same thing as like one guy who was talking about domestic terrorists. Then that's what they are basically, in the eyes of the law, they are doing, which is a crime. Which these people are just out there. And then if you talk to some people, then it's like, well, this is a revolution. This is how we create change. But we don't, this is what I try and get across, is we don't, as evolved beings, we don't create change by continuing old behaviors of violence and stuff. This has been a warring bubble for a long time. And it is an evolution of change where we do things different. We don't go out here and this battle, and then who's getting hurt, and who knows if these people are really getting hurt. Like the video of the one yesterday, and it's got people just freaking out, and people are, of course, this is all Donald, like it's all him. This is this crazy administration. They are doing this and they are destroying it and all this stuff. And it's like, well, while you're busy focusing on that, he's getting peace prizes and stuff. He's trying to bring peace and get all the countries to be, have their own resources, to get everybody to be in a better position. So, but you guys are focused on this and think that, and to me, I look at it and I'm like, this is really what, I guess, an N with a sir, and then you add an erection, then that is more of what I think that Tim is creating. And he's got all these people mindlessly following and playing the part of criminals. I've said this for a long time, is that they are good at creating criminals. And so, they're doing it right before our eyes. And so I don't know, I don't know how it's going to go down. And it's just as like, it's so extreme where it starts making you feel as like, to me, the solution is just, let them have their place. Let them, like I said, put them under a bubble and let them play it out. Let them experience what it is that they're fighting for. And then, let the rest of us go on in a different direction and let them see, which direction turns out, which one goes, and which, how the directions play out. Which I saw here that it's about an hour away, they are having on the 31st a big, it's the opposite of what they're doing over there. So it's a support rally for the IC. And so a big thing here, and I'm in a red state now, like this wouldn't be happening in Washington. And so they're having a big support thing going on the 31st, and everybody's invited. And which I'd be kind of curious to go to kind of like hear and see. But then I don't want to be choosing sides. I don't want to be like, I don't want to go in the direction of being on a side. I just want to be here in the middle watching it all play out. And and then like what's his name? James O'Keefe. He was there reporting, and so the blue team decided to attack him and his people, and then started sending threatening messages to him. And there was something yesterday too that was coming to me, and I was thinking, well, that's weird, because it's the battle of the ICE, but then we have this other thing. But what was it? I can't see it clearly. But they, the people are, they've got frozen water bottles, and they're throwing those. That's the weapon of choice, the blue weapon. Well, I'm sure they probably have more things than that. But anyways, Yeah, there's that going on. That O'Keefe said, throwing the stuff at them and damaging their truck and doing all sorts of stuff. And then threatening them they better leave the state. And he's just trying to report on what's going on, but these people go against him. Oh, this was the thing that was like getting me. Okay, so you have this leader guy who he does look like, um, like if you said a guess and then you said Poe. So if you put those sounds together, that were what Yahtzee used to be referred to, is he looks the part. And he's supposed to be the leader of the I think he's the border czar or something like this. And it's like, why? Even how he dresses, like, what in the world? He looks like he's just walked right out of a meeting with Mustache Man and is headed our way. Like, he looks like, and it's like, well, why is this group, why are they creating this? Like, why are they doing this? Why is there all this violence? Why is it like they're like trying, why it seems like they're trying to suck these people into this perspective. And why it's like, why are they going to such extremes? Like, why this czar fucking creep ass looking fella going around, doing all this weird shit. And then and even the one yesterday of the guys, it's not like they're even in uniform. They're fucking dressed like like soul, like, what was it? Yesterday I thought of the perfect word of what they were, but I don't know if I can see it again. They are very militant. They don't look like they have uniforms on or anything. And they're strapped and all this stuff. And then they're just grabbing people, like, and then the new guy who has been taken out by him, is an RN in the ICU and all this stuff. And and it's brutal. It's like, well, why, if they are trying to wake people up and getting people to see the truth, why is it playing out like this? Why is it this feeding into the storyline of the brutality and that you can't trust these people? I know on their, like, news and stuff like that they are saying, like, they're just nabbing people right and left and they're taking them to, because I had said to somebody, I said, yeah, but what's the big deal? I mean, all they're doing is taking these people and sending them home. Like, what's the harm of that? Like, free ride home. Like, what is the deal? Why is it such a ordeal? And they said, well, they're not. They're taking them to CAMPSs and holding them and doing all of this horrible stuff to them. I was like, I don't know about that. And but we're not watching the same news. And I was like, well, I would say, there could be some places, some detained areas that are, because the place they came from is not opening their doors and letting them land and bring them back. And so they're in an argument with these leaders, which would be a drama to show, like, oh, see, they've sent them here, now they won't take them back. And these people are committing crimes and they're criminals from over there. And so so that could be why that they would be being held somewhere, because they don't have anywhere to put them because the place won't take them back. So but I don't think they're just taking all these people and putting them in places and then saying, hey, well, we'll support you, we'll feed you, we'll take care of you. And yeah, I just don't know. I think they're taking people, and if they don't have the proper paperwork, then they are being sent back home. If you can't show, that you have documents that say you can be here, then they're saying, well, go home and get them. But then even Donald had said, hey, you know, if you've been here working and you got family and stuff like that, then we'll speed up the process. And you don't have to go, just come down here, fill out these things, and we'll start your process to become legal. It's people who don't want to, they want to stay in the shadows, that don't want to be legal because they are like hired hands. So then, but then it's like, well, why do they keep showing all of this to feed into these people's negative storyline of what these people think? Why does this keep being shown in all this violence and stuff? And which, you know, I don't know, I kind of don't know like exactly how it all got started. It seemed like at first it was like all these different videos and people saying, oh, the ICE's here, and they're just nabbing people, and people started freaking out. And so then they started following along with this story, which, you know, I mean, it definitely, we are on stolen land. We're all illegal in some sense of the word. So that is true. And that's a part of the truth of where I've talked about, you know, we're going to not be so structured on the land. We're going to be earthlings. We're going to have more free reign. And so some of these people, they're right in their perspective of the government can't tell us or tell people where they can be and stuff like that. That part is right. And then they're also right on coming together, but they're coming together in violence and anger, which is not going to lead you into the timeline where they want to go, unless something happens and they all of a sudden change all that. But we're not going into a world that's based on violence. Even if there's freedom, it's not going to be like we're going to fight people for it. It's going to be a much more loving thought, you know, emotional maturity, mindfulness, thoughtfulness. It's going to be a different landscape. And so but you know, if it's the quantum computer or whatever that figured out how to play this out, it's like, well, why would they be doing it like this? This is what was getting me yesterday. It's like, why would they be doing this? Why is this happening like this? Why isn't it they're being shown the truth? Why is it some of us see this truth and they think that they see this other truth, which I don't see their truth, so I can't, you know, I don't know. I'm not living their perspective. I'm on this other perspective. So I see things much different. And I see the corruption, the underbelly, and that the people are brought here to be used by the political powers that are criminal. And so it's more of the pawns in their game and the beard of what they're doing. And so then it's like, you know, it's how much of this is orchestrated by Tim. I was even thinking, do they have like two different groups? Do they have like the ones that are trying to do the right thing through the legal thing, and then we have a group of them that are instigators, that are maybe like essentially does Tim have his own? Does he have his own group of ICE that go out and do all this horrible stuff? And it's so weird. And so, I know how this is gonna play out. Like, it's more and more people because of the violence and stuff is pulling more and more people in this city on this one side. And to me, Tim has got all these people involved in, and you know, that word that I said a minute ago, it's like erection, only you have an N over there in the front of it. And so so then that's a crime. I mean, we just got to think back on, you know, how did that go down on J6? What did they do with those people? And so this, and that's the weird thing too, is these people were so down on the J6ers, and they're sitting here doing this. It's just like, God dang, man. It's so weird. It's just blind anger and hate in this world. Like, they don't think about, like, what do they really think? Like, well, before, when it was these other people doing this, I thought that was wrong, but now it's me and my people, and we're right. And it's like, that's where, you got to break through to being more mindful and be more thought driven and more elaborating your perspective, because it's like they're just, it is like this lower chakra just movement through life. It's very robotic. It's very triggered by, it's very reactive. So they're constantly in this reactive mode in their existence, and not thinking about like how they feel. It's full of hypocrisy. So you got to think about, like, what were you thinking about when you thought it was the other people doing this? You thought that was wrong, but now when you want to do it, you think it's right. And so, I mean, it's playing out. So it's got to be a part of the awakening. It's got to be a part of what people are facing. But it's just a hard watch to watch, like, this huge amount of people that are all caught up in this. And then I don't want to be like judgmental on them if they're all a bunch of stupid asses or something. I mean, these people are all seeing something different than what a lot of us are seeing. And then, like I said, there's positive thing about standing up for human rights and freedom. And then, but it's a different kind of freedom, because they don't recognize the real freedom of being out from under the corporate claws. And that's the thing also, is that if you want to really go against what is going on, that is where you stop playing the game. Like, you start, like the strike thing. Yeah. Stop going to work. Stop paying the bills, stop going and buying things from these people. Like, stop playing the game. That's where you pull free. To go out and fight to the death, God, what's that accomplishing? And then some of these people, yeah, it's going to be like those people in Florida. They just got big charges, and it was like 20 of them. This is like thousands. In which, I mean, in the new world, we're not going to be housing 100,000 people for being stupid. And so it's got to be something that, like, splits apart in the energetic consensus of existence, or something, of like these people are making their choice. And if their choice wasn't designed around consideration and really thinking through and paying more attention and gathering information, and they're very structured on the reactive side of defensive and anger and TDS and all that stuff, then that is, is it their new reality? Is that, are we watching the realities split apart, and that they're creating this one that is going to go into this direction of supporting, like, somebody who it's like been out already. Tim is a fucking criminal, man. He's a criminal. And I saw, I've seen some other people discussing, like, I haven't seen all these things, but he's going on the news and trying to rally things, trying to get things going. And people are like, this is a crime. Like, this guy should be arrested. And that's the other thing that gets me, is like, being somebody who has been on this for years and years and years. It was like way back in fucking 2020, where it was like all of these freaking, they had all these, what were they called? They're like arrest warrants, but they were, what was it? There was like 175,000 of them or something. I can't think of what they're called now. But it was like what everybody was talking about back in 2020. There's all of these legal papers that have all got these people's names on them and all their charges. And some probably were taken. Like I saw somebody doing a breakdown on Tom Hanks's face, and they were doing it on his young face and then on his older face. And they said, this is a more recent picture. And I'm thinking, well, if it's a very recent picture, that's not even him. So, but because I think that a lot of these people have been taken and have been in, and then they have to have these players come out and play out these parts. But it's like, so in the way this is all going, so we're going to have all these people who are very angry. We're not going to show them the truth. We're not going to get them to see the truth. But I guess, if you need them to see their own anger, to see their own ignorance, and how easy they blindly follow somebody, and their own expression of hate on the tedious thing and all that stuff. So if that's what's really is the main goal, is for them to see that. But the thing is, it's just so weird because it's like beefing up all of this this anger to feed the mob, and then to create all of these scenarios that create more and more anger and more violence. And then for all of these people like Tim, all these different people that supposedly have these I keep hearing arrest warrant, but it's something else. It's called something else. And they were all, you could look them up, and there was all these cities. There was like 175,000 of them, but they wouldn't have all their names. But there was so much stuff going around about this. It's like, well, why isn't that being more shown? Like, why aren't we being shown, go in and arrest the motherfucker? And then it's like, okay, so are they not? Because that's going to create more of, we knew he was addicted, he's a dictator, all right, and he's what's a word that rhymes with it's kind of a weird word. Well, it starts with an F, an ASCISTS. So that word is which I think I spelled it right, but they all think, that's what he is. And it's all this created illusion of belief system that they're being mind controlled into believing that, because it's not the truth. And because what he's really trying to do is battle the corruption and give us our freedom, which the big part of the corruption is the web of control, which is all it's like the corporation is the big role in that. And so he's got to take down he's going to take all this down. And which has been going for years now, because even in the first one, and then the one, the intermission with Joe, then that was to show something. And I don't know if it's going to be, the looking back is what they're going to be looking at, but definitely it has a role. And then, but now when it comes into this one, and it could be like the wall, the wall to bounce things off, to be like, to show how things were able to be corrupted. So that could be why they had to throw in that, in the middle, which there's a whole other side is thinking that, oh yeah, there's, VOTE, FRAUD, but it's, Donald who did it. It's like, oh my gosh, guys, like this stuff has all been proven. This isn't just a fantasy. Stuff was proven. And so, and I mean, there's already been like arrest warrants and stuff for some of these people who are involved. Like, it's already come out about like Barack and Hillary, like the parts they played in some of this stuff. in these made up situations and bullshit. So it's like you guys aren't hearing or seeing other things. You're so focused on this stuff that you're not hearing and seeing all this other stuff that would give you more insight, that may make you go like, wait a minute, maybe there's more to this story than, maybe I need to try and figure out more of what's going on, and don't let them just rule my emotions and drag me into anger and violence in a split second. And so I don't know if because you'd think the logical thing would be like, da-da, this is the truth, and we're taking Tim, and you guys want to follow him, then, and there's more. Like Gavin, he's got people who worship him because they hate Donald. Like it's insanity. It's like, well, when is this gonna all be revealed? When's the big reveal? Are we getting close? Does it come with the eclipse? Like, is that the big reveal? Like, when is this coming, man? It's crazy. But that really, like, it had me down yesterday. Just watching and seeing all these people. I'm thinking, how can there be this many people who don't even, like, they're so caught up in this stuff. And they're willing to, I mean, on one sense, like, if it's a really, just let's march these streets and talk about, we're all free, we're all brothers and sisters, we all should live together. But it's way more like, fuck guys, get them fucking, girl. It's like, it's different. And then, I mean, and even Tim, like, he wants to start WW3 right there. He wants the state enforcement to go against the federal, which, if that were to go that way, then I would say, Donald's not going to go in there and go to battle. He's just going to pull funding and say, okay, good luck to you. And especially to a place that relies so much on the grants and stuff for the illegal shit they got going on, then that will be a problem. And people don't see that. And is that the reality that they're choosing? Is that how this is going to start playing out? There's going to be money pulled, and then this place is going to go poverty, violence, and Tim's going to be just hiding out somewhere. I don't know. Because it seems like, like the simplest thing would be just the big reveal. Let's, like, all of this arrests, make them. Let's move ahead with this shit, man. And now we're almost to the end of January. I just can't even believe how, I mean, now we're already in 2026. We're already going. And it's like, oh my gosh. That was Max. The only thing I'm hoping for is this, the significant, the day it turns into the year of the horse, and some like things start going, because this is like, it's still the age of the snake, and it's still this shedding. And so, which definitely I feel like I'm in this point of shedding. And it's weird because it's not even like triggers. It's not like I feel triggered by these people. It's more of like just questioning, like, why is it going like this? Why, like, it's just, it boggles my mind. And then the energy on the planet is overwhelming. And then the headaches, the dogs waking me up, and like, what is interfering in my sleep? What's interfering in my dreams? And so it's all of that kind of stuff that just is like, it's like a burden. It's like an energetic burden, and it is heavy. And I know, over this, I got to pull back more of the just observe, because you can get caught up in the questions of like, why would they be doing it like this? Like, why would you feed into all of these people's storyline like this? So I don't know, you'd think something big would suddenly be revealed. And who knows if it is, like, if we're right on the edge of, you know, because we got this money collapse thing happening, but all these people would be like, oh, it's all Donald, it's all his fault. It's like, you guys have not been watching what's going on. Like, you guys are not seeing. Like, this whole system was created to keep us busy workers. So the slaves of the system. And he's ending it. So yeah, if you want to blame it on him that he's ending it, then, but yeah, that's what we want to end. We want it to be ending. We want the criminals who were brought here to wreak havoc on us and steal from us and commit crimes against us and hurt us, and they don't give a crap about us, that they're not our neighbors. I mean, they could live next door to us, but we don't fucking have any relationship with them, and they don't want a relationship with us. A lot of these ones don't even like Americans. So it's like, yeah, we got to come together. We got to come together what's right. And it doesn't seem to be the right way to go, to feed into violence and hatred and division, because that is what's happening. And if you think it's not, then, you know, why are these people like going after little 80-year-old ladies? Why are they going after O'Keefe? He's just another reporter out there trying to bring information to the people. It's like, you guys are very much like, you're letting politics rule your world. So they've got you, you know, they've got you under their control. And the pulling free from it is not letting them control you. Don't let them. You know, if we all said no, we're not going to VOTE anymore, we're not going to let them be ruling us anymore, then that's how it changes. But to go out there and be violent and be hurting people that don't agree with you, and then plus, you know, wearing hoods and shit like while you're doing it, it's just like, it's so reminiscent of the past violence, the past ignorance. And, you know, we're, as evolved beings of Earth, we are not going to be living in the way we did in the past. That's what this shedding is all about. To shed these parts of ourselves from the history of this planet and move towards what would be the better way to go. What is the higher vibration? And the higher vibration is about love and kindness, thoughtfulness, forgiveness, letting the universe play its stuff out, not trying to go in and decide, because they're trying to decide who's right and wrong when they've only got half the story. You read half the book and you're trying to tell us the ending. It's like, dude, there's like, it can be a fucking, you know, a shift in the book. Again, I mean, we all have watched movies and read books where you think like, oh, this is going in this direction. All of a sudden it's like, boom, it takes you over in a whole nother direction. So, woo, didn't see that coming. And I think that there's going to be something like that that's going to occur. It's going to be like, whoa, didn't see that coming. And it's going to have to be big and dramatic to get everybody's attention, because their attention is so hyper-focused on this resistance. And say, with the resistance is being manipulated by criminals. And you guys don't want to see that. And so it has to be revealed, you know. But I know that the real, the energetic evolution is towards kindness and towards love. And yeah, we do need to come together, but we don't come together to try and bully other people, to try and hurt other people. We come together as a creative force to know that we can pick up and create and make a new world, a world that is more thoughtful. Like, we don't need to have any governing forces over us when we have the book inside of us. We know the rules, they're written in our soul. But we live in a world where people are disconnected from their souls, and they are feeding into the world of fetish and poverty and control and anger and violence and bitterness and division, and just, it's a whole other thing. It's like, that's the thing that's so big, that's right out there. That's what you got to split off from. That's what you got to pull free from. And even if you think like, well, I'm justified, I've got to be a part of this and stuff, then that's where you got to like Talk to your ego. You know, why do I feel like I'm here to you know, is like, not one of us is here to just save the world. It's not good. Can you imagine? That'd be the heavy burden that you have to carry through life. I got to save the world. It's up to me. It's like, no, you got to save yourself. This is individual choices. And you gotta make the right ones. You gotta make the ones, you know, to me, it's just so clear. It's just so easy to decipher. It's like, you want to go, if you got two poles, and you got one that is all about deceit and deceiving and hate and violence and anger and bitterness and control and all of this. And then you want to go to the opposite one. It's all about love and respect and acceptance and the letting go of things. You know, I mean, this one over here is carrying a lot of this victim mentality. You got to let go of that. And even if you think, like, this group of people who think, you know, Donald is the enemy, it's like, I don't know. It's like you're coming up with a judgment because there's more evidence out there that could give you more of a balanced look at it, that it isn't just one thing. And but that's the role of the catalyst. That's the role of the catalyst to change. It's not just all good. It's not just all bad. It's the rock that goes into the water to create the ripple. It's the dam opening to redirect the water. It's everything that is here to create change. So yeah, he's a spectacle, but people want to be so harsh on, you know, he's the enemy. You know, it's like, that's where you want to get out of this mentality of enemies. And then that is also where you got to start being like, well, if he really is bad, then he's not going to go forward. Where are you going to go? Is he going to, you know, because the universe is, like, you can't go to where you don't vibrate. You cannot be somewhere where you're not matching the vibration. Here, I think before the sickness, we were all kind of matching vibration. You know, we were all just robotic, going about our business. And then things started shifting. And then our vibrations started not being matching. And then we started becoming very chaotic. And that we all, which creates this rip in the energetic field, which creates change. But see, I mean, one side is so much like against the other side that they think the other side is totally wrong. They don't even give them the benefit of the doubt, even when their logo is, you know, about everybody coming together and making things better and stuff. But but then there's these narrative leaky holes that are, you know, like what I've been talking about. It's like, what? But but that's the thing, is like, you don't have to sit here and decide who's the enemy and stuff. The universe has got our back. You know, you can't pretend to be high vibration and get to a place that's high vibration. You have to actually be the vibration to be there. And so at this point in time, when we're all changing our vibration and we're all elevating ourselves, well, it depends, but the people who are elevating and shedding these other sides of themselves to elevate their souls into a higher vibration, then that creates a new world. It creates a new reality. And so it's only the souls that match it can get in there. There's no tricking. Yeah, we've had a place where, you know, there was good people and bad people. There was people who could never understand, like, why people did horrible things and why they couldn't get ahead and all of that stuff. But then to wake up, and then now it's more of a like a process of awareness so that you are purposefully making certain choices for yourself to pull you in certain directions. But that's the thing, is like there's no reason that we need to spend our time and energy deciding who's the good person, who's the bad person. Because if you're focused on where you're going and you plan on going somewhere where it's good and you're trying to match that energy, and that you want to be in a place that's all about love and connection and creation and new experiences, and you're focused on trying to do what you can do, match and meet that energy, then that should be the focus. Trying to decide who can get there and who can't get there. And because, I'll have somebody say, well, all these bad people, how they, these people who do these crimes against us, they're going to get in there. It's like, no, they can't. If that's who you are, you can't get in. And it's like, you just don't fit. You don't match. So you can't get in. And that's, I think, a part of what people need to really understand about this world. Is like we're leaving something that a lot of us didn't match. We felt uncomfortable. We didn't feel like we matched here. And now we're getting an opportunity to feed into this side of ourselves of grateful and loving and happy and hopeful and all of these things, to create this new world where that is more of the energy. And so it's more of a beautiful place where it seems like, these people creating this other energetic reality of just anger and violence and ignorance and just I don't know, man. But anyways, I know where it is. I'm breaking free. I'm going in this direction, and I can see like when some of these things just like get me down, or it's just like feeling overwhelmed and just like, this is just too much, man. And it did make me feel better to see more people, seeing what I was seeing and feeling like I was feeling. Because it is like, ah, dang, man. This is like so heavy. And then we got, all these energies and all of this weird shit. Now they're saying there's 2 moons. Like, this is a magical time. We got 2 moons now. It's like, you guys don't even feel like you need to even give us any explanations. You just, look at this now. And the sun has come out over here. And so now it's like it's totally heated up. So I don't know, man. Is the sun gonna just, he's got all these coronal mass ejections or whatever. So is it just gonna all of a sudden blow or something? Fuck if I know, man. Who knows what the hell's gonna happen? Like, this is just so odd. And there's so many people, everybody's trying to figure it out. But who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? I just know when it all comes down to it, where it is I want to go. And I don't want to go to any of this kind of shit anymore. I want to go somewhere where it is loving and kind and a better, and that we don't have to work. This having to work to pay your way. It's like, I like the idea of like, the tribes, like when they were getting to live here, they didn't have to go to work. They had to go out and, there was ones that had to go out and get food. There was ones that had to grow food. There was ones that had to prepare food. There was ones that had to take care of kids. Like, that was the whole idea of a village, of everybody just playing their parts. The spokes of the wheel. So that's where I want to go back. That's more the kind of community that I want to be in, not where we just have to go be enslaved for a little check and then told that we need to have insurance and all this other stuff and taxes and keep taking and taking and taking. So anyways, we'll see. It's like the only thing we can do, really. There's nothing we can do. We can't speed it up. And then, when you're going through the different things, like, don't be hard on yourself. That's what I'm always getting. It's like, don't be hard on yourself through all of this stuff. Learn to be gentle with yourself and not be like because it is like, this can be such a downer, and then it's so confusing, and then there's so much just chaos. And we all have family members, like we're all on different sides, but that's the thing, is we all are carrying different perspectives. And so, and that isn't, there's no wrong or right perspective. It's how they see things, and it's what they see. And that's the part that's kind of sad, is because a lot of it is through a restricted view. And the more that people see, the more clarity that they have, so that they can see it, better. Because right now it's all based on limitation. And the limitation is so it can be used as control. So, anyways, but I'm always come back to this whole thing of what we're doing here, and that is our evolving ourselves, saving ourselves, redesigning ourselves, becoming our best version of ourselves, and going into, leveling up, getting out of this toxic energy and moving into a loving place where success looks different than what they've tried to, all of the stuff they've tried to market to us looks different. And we don't have to worry, people who don't match can't get there. It's not up to us to police it. And so anyways, but in order to get there, you do have to learn how to love yourself. You do have to learn how to love everybody else. And you do have to learn how to zoom in and zoom out and see things in a bigger way. And when you're too up close and things are too dramatic and stuff, there's a lot of it. Just step back, step back. That's what I'm always getting. Step back. Don't get so close. Step back and look at it. Try and see more of the picture. Don't try and go up so close and see, because then it's like you only see what you want to see. You see what you focus on, and you got to step back and step back and step back so you can see more of the picture, the bigger picture, because it's more than just what you want to see. And, and there's a lot of people out there that are trying to feed a storyline. This guy's a tater and he's a monster, and that's the storyline, and I'm sticking to it. And so you got people that are just looking, with their magnifying glass to find that, and then they're hyper focused on it because it feeds into the story that they want to believe. And that's why it's all, you got to shed. You got to shed yourself in order to move out of these storylines that have got you captured. And there's a reason. There's a reason why you see the things you see. And that's where your past lives come into play. And you have roles with different people. You have roles with different people and different lives and stuff. So anyways, but that's what everybody needs to be more focusing on. And they do. I guess they want to just overrun us with all of this toxicity, because there is like a lot of us, who feel more positive, and then they show all of this, and it's like, oh my God, this is some fuckery, man. So anyways, that's what I'm going to keep working on, is trying to step back a little. Don't get, it's a hard watch, that's for sure. And I wish that things would go faster. I wish the big reveal would come so we could all know. Like, there's lots of things I want to know. I want to know the truth. I want to see the truth. I want to understand the truth. So anyways, I think we all do. I think we're all, we all want the truth. It's giving me a headache. I'm getting a headache again. And so anyways, but I'm going to, my plan is to go live on Wednesday. Sorry I didn't do it yesterday. I'm not doing it today because this is David Wilcock Day. And he takes over the fucking, everybody who's out there looking for somebody to watch. I think he gets them all. So anyways, I'm not going to do today. And my plan is to do Wednesday. And so, we'll go live. But if, some crazy things happen, like the thing that, to me, is the earthquake or something, like really bad things to happen. Not just, all this craziness and stuff in this one city. So, but there's a lot of cities that are having, a lot of people who are in the battle zone of the storms too. And I've seen people are confused, like, And they've got their families, and it's like, you know, what's happening? How are we supposed to get food? Like, there's just, it's all over the place, man. It's just all over the place, everything. So, but anyways, but if there suddenly is an earthquake and over here on the West Coast or anywhere in our country that is devastating, then I will go live that day so we can all, you know, talk about it. But I'm talking more of on the sense of like the towers, like that day. Everybody, we were all in shock. We were all just like, what? And everybody was talking. And so we were all glued to that situation. So something more big and extreme like that, then yeah, I'll go live so we can all gather in a gathering area and talk and purge out our feelings. But otherwise, Wednesday, I'll go live and talk about whatever's happening next week. So we'll see. We'll see what happens today. We'll see what happens how we go into this week. And I'm sure there's going to be more drama going, especially when you hear these people with their ego and stuff. I mean, they are the center of all of America as far as they're concerned. They're the template of what America needs to be. It's like, okay. But anyways, so we'll see how things go down, but stay focused on working on yourself and shedding and try and, you know, do the same thing of just keep stepping back from all of these dramas, because it is like so much, man. And it's just even the energy on the planet is intense. So anyways, I knew that was coming. So anyways, we'll talk in the morning, so I'll talk to you later. Bye.